Hey y'all, it's Games. Welcome to my closet. Um, if you don't know me, you can call me Games. That is not my real name, clearly. But I am non-binary, so maybe one day it will be. I'm not entirely certain. I just talk. I just talk for so long, and nobody can stop me. That is what this channel is. And today I'm gonna be talking about Thai BL, just like my last video. Now, if you watched my last video, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I forgot my gender for a second. I'm gonna try not to speak in Thai for this video. I'm also gonna try to have a good personality and be entertaining. Whoa, crazy. If you watched my last video, you know that I kind of mentioned a little something about not finishing Ossans Love Thailand. And basically this video is going to be about the reason why it's gonna take me a good 5 years to press play on episode 12. Now, that's not because I don't love the show. I love the show. I think it's one of my favorite shows made by GMMTV. I think it's one of their best, just in terms of like if we just talk about production alone. Also, I don't feel like it was very product placement-y, but maybe it was with the Mr. Saturn world. I thought that the performances were all top tier. Like, there's nobody who I would ask to see me after class personally. Of course, we have Earth Mix at the center, and I'm sort of new to the fandom without a name. You know, like I'm sort of dipping my toes into the world, and I am liking what I see. So again, really excited to see them in Only Friends Dream On, and I love seeing them in this particular series, Ossans Love Thailand. I thought that the writing was kind of good. Well, we're gonna get to that. I thought the writing was serviceable. There were times where I was really enjoying the writing and how motivated all the characters seemed, like how grounded, and like I could understand, like, okay, this is why these people are acting in this way, and I felt it when I was supposed to feel things, so I think they were doing a serviceable job in the writer's room at times, and then it became unserviceable at the end of episode 11, and I was like, you know what, like, that's all well and good, that's okay, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'm no longer continuing to be involved in that. And I love, like, Mr. Saturn World is my nephew now because of how much Hang loves those little plushies. Like, I have to stand. At first, I don't know. There's just something that's so inherently endearing about Mr. Saturn World and about Earth and Mix through their performances here. I don't know. 10s, but I'm not watching 12. Now we're gonna get into talking about spoilers if you don't want to be spoiled. Whoa, we'll hold off a little bit. So what is Ossans Love Thailand about? So basically, there is this man. He's 30 years old, grown man, living at home, terrorizing his mother. Doesn't want to pay bills, laughs in her face when she's like, why aren't you paying bills? Why aren't you cooking your own meals, cleaning up after yourself? He goes, ha, ha, ha. You're gonna have to take care of me until the day that you die. Which I do feel like was a threat of violence. Like that. Like, free Hang's mother for real. She needed to get out of there. And I really don't blame her for leaving the way that she did, because he was about to kill that woman. So he needed to learn. Basically, his boss falls in love with him, and also his new roommate that he has to find out, or his new roommate that he's been living with, who's also his coworker, falls in love with him, and he has to navigate their two being in love with him while seemingly he's like, why is this happening to me? I'm a straight man. And then he goes, well, maybe I'm a little bit gay because I kind of need to kiss that man on the mouth. A little bit gay, a little bit. And that's the show. And it's like a comedy, very farcical kind of comedy. And yeah, okay. Here's where I'll begin. I should probably know the names of all the actors. I really only know the names of Mix and Earth. I'm so sorry. And I think I know all the characters' names. It has been kind of like a little bit since I last watched it. But we have Earth playing, the sort of 30-year-old goofy, kind of, bad at being a person in society Hang, very mature Hang, which I feel like really might be the closest. And I know this is gonna sound like an insult. I promise I'm not trying to insult you, Earth. Earth, I love you. But I feel like out of all the roles that I've seen him play, mind you, it's not that many, but the closest to who he is from what I've seen parasocially would have to be Hang. Just because and I feel like that's truly a compliment, because Hang, like, played by somebody else, like, if it was just the words on the page and somebody else was acting them out, I could very easily see myself, like, being annoyed by them, being irritated, going, like, what is this? Turn this off, yelling, screaming, like, please stop, because he really, at the beginning, he does grow, he does change, but throughout, he has a lot of problems. He needs a lot of help, and he doesn't feel bad about needing all the help that he does. Like, I would have a little bit of shame. I would have a little bit of shame if I couldn't pick up after myself around the house and I couldn't make myself a meal, or I would starve in the house alone. Okay? I would feel a little bit ashamed if left to my own devices. I would certainly starve. But that's not the case. He's like, kind of like, you can do this for me, so you probably should. You can make me breakfast every morning, so you probably should be making me breakfast every morning, right? Like, right? Like, you guys agree? But I think that the way that Earth portrays him, it's just so, like, yes, I will I will go to the kitchen right now and I will make what you need immediately. He has such energy, such life to him, and I also feel like when he sort of, like, plays into the comedy, like, screaming, like, I feel it doesn't feel, like, very cringy to me, although this is a sidebar to talk about comedy and culture. There are certainly some. Actually, this is a sidebar for me to talk about people of France. I don't like French media. I don't like French media. There's never been anything that's been put on a screen made by people of that country that I've gone, oh yeah, like, I can drive with this, I can connect with it, I like it. No. I don't really support French humor. I just don't think it's for me, and I don't want to have to partake in it. Now, on the other hand, I really do like Thai humor. It definitely, I don't know, there's something about, because I've watched many things in languages that I don't understand, and I feel fine reading subtitles. There is something about watching, like, a Thai comedy series and me having to constantly rewind because I'm like, I don't know, like, what is going on. I can't understand what is going on. I'm reading the words. I'm reading what you're saying to each other, and I can't get it. And it's not even the wordplay, because I can just, like, see, oh, this is, like, an instance of wordplay. I'm not going to understand it. I move on. But sometimes, like, events will happen in succession. This mostly happened in Cooking Crush. This mostly happened in Cooking Crush, and maybe it's just something about Cooking Crush, but it also has happened in a couple of other series, like Chanhan Tonlati, which maybe I'll make a video about that one, and how I do, it has its faults. I do think it's some of the funniest things I've ever seen committed to the digital media form. But it also, to a lesser extent, happened in Ossans Love. Not seriously, but this is just like a thing about, Thai comedic beats that I've noticed, at least the ones that are produced by DMMTV, where sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what just happened, and I have to go back. It might also be like that I'm stupid. Keep in mind, I took an IQ test a couple of months ago. I was meant to just, like, it's one of those free IQ tests, but you have to pay $1 to see your results, and then you could pay $20 to take, like, the course afterwards, and they only tell you this after you already spent, like, half an hour working through all these stupid questions. And I don't, like, I already know I'm not going to understand any of the math questions, so I just randomly answer those and skip those, and see if, like, my sheer pattern recognition with, like, space into shapes is going to be enough to carry me through. And, like, they, of course, like, I thought it was going to be free, but I was like, prepared. I was like, okay, let's just see what the price is going to be at the end if they give us a price, because there's no way I answered all these questions just to not see what my result is. And they said, yeah, you can pay $1 to see your result, or you can pay $20 and subscribe, and we can give you lessons so that you can get smarter. And I said, you know what, like, I'm just going to pay the $1. I'm just going to pay the $1. It's just $1, and there's no way I did this whole thing, just to not know how smart I am. So I paid the $1. It said 82 points of IQ. And then I checked my bank statement. Like, I was notified by my bank, hey, you've been charged $20. So I lost three times that night. And so I don't know why it would surprise me that I can't understand the jokes. I can't understand jokes. It must be because they're Thai, not because I have 82 points of IQ and was scammed online. That was okay. But I digress. And then, of course, we have Mix there, who I also think is doing a fantastic job of being the sort of neurotic, self-sabotaging, like, you breathe on me wrong, okay? You take too long to say that you like the way I cooked your omelet this morning. I'm packing my bags and moving out. I'm packing my bags. I'm moving out. ID gap. I'm not, no pass and go, no collecting $200. I'm in my room. Shirts folded into the suitcase. Every other episode, I swear this man was packing his bags to leave. And I had to stand. I was like, Hang, you better treat Mo right. Because he knows what he's worth. But he also loved to self-sabotage. So let's get into the spoilers. My first point. I was almost not able to watch this show. Let's talk about this. I am a believer in Old Man Yowie, okay? I am a believer in Old Man Yowie. Why should all these all these under 25s, under 30s, why does being gay happen in high school and college, 2 years post-grad, and then nothing else ever after that? Bring on Old Man Yowie. These men have bills to pay, they have joint pain, and they're just now discovering their bisexuality. Let's talk about it. I support Old Man Yowie. Now, I haven't really experienced, in terms of media, a lot of it. That's why I'm supporting it. I love it. What I failed to realize, crucially, about Old Man Yowie, and what I think this particular form, especially in episode 1 of Old Man Yowie, made me realize about Yowie in general, is that yaoi is about men. And sometimes men are scary. Sometimes men scare me. I was thinking about it, and I think like a lot of the laws that exist globally, they exist because of a man, Because if we really think about it, who would have been moving through this world and acting in such a way that we really thought, oh, we gotta write that down to let you know that you can't do that. And it was probably, like a lot of it was probably a man. I'm not saying that it was all men. I'm saying a lot of it was men. And that's why I was a little afraid. That's why I was looking at the old man yaoi being presented to me, and I was going, oh, that's just an old man. That's just an old man. Imagine you're on the train late. Imagine you're on the train late to your work, right? You bump into your boss. Oh, hi, boss on the train. You bump into the boss, it jostles. His phone tumbles out. You look at his lock screen, it's pictures of you. Oh, so HR, security. No. Imagine you're still rattled about this. Your boss is weird. Oh, you saw it. You definitely saw it walking to you. You're the only one alone in this office. There's a glass door, but nobody's looking and seeing these homoerotic scenes taking place in the workplace. You escape. You pull up some files on your boss's computer because you need to finish the slide deck by tonight. You're behind. You're late. You open a folder. It's about 50 photographs of you taken that you didn't know were taken in the office. I was afraid for Hang, okay? I was 21 and afraid. Hang was 30 years old and afraid of his boss, and nobody did anything except for Mo once or a couple of times. Nobody was doing enough. And that's why, like, I was all for, like, okay, let's see a love triangle. This man, oh, fatty, you know what I mean? Like, he's kind of like CEO, the boss. Let's give, mix some competition this time around. You know what I mean? And the competition that was presented, I was like, oh, that's just an HR violation. It's just odd, because what would even possess you to take all these covert, like, he works in the office with you. I get maybe 1 or 2, maybe. That's still a lot in a time where we have Instagram and you can just look at his Instagram. I know you're old, but I know you know how to work an iPhone, sir. You can snap 50 billion pictures. I know you know how to work an iPhone, so you can transfer the files from your phone to your laptop. You can work an iPhone. You can operate Instagram. You didn't have to do this. Why would you take so many and keep them in a folder on your computer? Why couldn't you keep them in a folder on your phone? Like, what possesses you to make your employees picture your locks? It's just a lot. The ones and the twos were not coming together to form 3. I saw 16. I'm like, I'm missing numbers. Until I collect all the numbers. I can't support this. And from there, the storyline. So that was my first attempt to watch the show. I saw that stuff happening. I was like, I'm scared. I closed my laptop and I began to watch My School President. That was a good choice. I like My School President. But then I finished My School President. I was like, first Cow Tongue are in Ossans Love Thailand. They're in 2 episodes. A couple. I need to know what's going on in this show. So I tried again. And I'm really glad that I tried again. Because then I was able to get a lot farther, okay? You know, it's like this boss guy, but it was very tedious because after, I accept the boss is a strange guy, he means well, maybe this is just, what they do when you're an old man of a certain age and gay. You just kind of act, different generations, they operate differently. However, then we got into this tedious thing where Hang didn't want to, just for some reason couldn't say, I don't like you like that. And the boss, for some reason, just assumed that this was his man enough to introduce him to his daughter. And I was like, are we going to do this the whole show? We have to have Hang in these date situations going like, oh no, but not opening his mouth to say anything. Like, I understand that's part of Hang's character, but when the whole episode plot resolves around, so many of these plots for these episodes resolved around issues that could have been very quickly solved. Like, this is like a non-issue that you're pretending is an issue. You don't want your boss to find you in the bed of the guy he's suspecting you to sleep with, of one of your coworker, because he's gonna like punish the coworker. That's fine, okay? You simply go lie in the hallway, in the toilet. You get locked up on the roof. Okay, just leave both of you can leave the roof. Okay? There's no reason for you to go up on the roof separately. If you see him from the ground, you say, oh, there he is. He was drunk last. Everybody was drunk. It's fine. Oh, you don't want to have to help your boss's daughter spy on your coworker? You don't want to help your boss's daughter try to figure out who your boss is dating because it's you. Okay, well then stop answering her phone calls. She's 15. At some point, you're just gonna have to go back to high school. This is not a real problem. Just stop. Like, so many times I wanted to say, just stop. Why are you doing these things? And when you have an episode and the whole premise lies on something that can just be easily solved if you just didn't do it because you don't want to do it and nobody is forcing you to do the things that you want to do, I don't know what to say. I can't say anything to you for the whole episode. And I think like maybe the first 3 or so episodes were like that. And then thankfully it got better. And then we got to episodes, I think it was 11 and 12, and we were back. We were just back doing the same sort of, okay. But in between I'd say episode 4 and 11, so like episodes 4 all the way to 10, including 10, but stopping before 11, 11 had good aspects, but there were parts that just, it was just, no. I was like, oh yes, I'm living, I'm standing, the storyline with the boss did get tedious, but then he told him, I don't really like you like that. And then, I have a boyfriend. And then, we were free. I'm sorry, I just couldn't get behind it was just so tedious having to watch him be in the situation that was so easy to escape. And I know that's part of his arc as a character, and I do think it got better, like, as the show went on and they were showing, like, the ways that he was sort of entertaining his boss in ways that maybe Hank shouldn't have been doing. It definitely got better, but those first, like, especially when the daughter was introduced, I was like, I don't have it in me to watch this whole thing. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And it was really cute again to see their relationship form. I remember this one scene, I think it might have been episode 10 where no. episode 9, where they like share a bed for the first time, and Hang sort of looks over. He looks around and goes to hug him. I thought that was so funny. I rewinded and watched that so many times. I think that Earth is like kind of an excellent physical. His physical comedy and his timing, and like the light exuberance and youth that he brings to the character is so exciting. I'm gonna be kind of honestly a little bit sad to see him in Only Friends, because I feel like he's taking on like a stoic role again, and I really want to see more of this like ball of sunshine Earth. Alas, I can just watch episodes, I think 3 through 10 again. And 10, it did end on a sad note, but it was a sad note that I can get behind. Okay, so we come to the problem. We kind of leave like the tedious, I don't quite understand the premise of this episode. Why don't you literally do anything else? This is so irritating and annoying. We do leave that. We have some development. We have some, I'm packing my bags and I'm leaving. We do that a couple of times. We get to a breakup. That was so heartbreaking. And one thing I will say about Mo, Mix's character, is that didn't have to happen. Like, you didn't have to, I understand, and listen, I'm the first one to tell you, I love characters making choices that they just make because they want themselves to suffer. I love that. I'm a writer. I'm a storyteller. The characters in my things, whatever I'm making, are always doing that shit. I support it 100%. So I understand the choice, and I'm fine with the way that the breakup happened, I don't know, people complain about, and everybody has the right to their opinions, but I personally love to see people making mistakes on screen. I think that's the only reason that we watch people on the screen. If I just wanted to watch people be perfect and gorgeous, I would just sit in front of a mirror 12 hours out of the day and then sleep the other 12, But I want to see some conflict, some characters, some plot, and some themes. So I turned to TBL Metro. That's why everybody goes where I went. But yeah, like I thought it was so, he's such a self-sabotager, and I think that the subtle way that they were able to pull that out, like they had like a lot of finesse, and I want to give the claps to the writing team where they're owed, where I'm pulling back my claps. Episode 11. Mr. Boss Man. Why are you proposing to that boy? I just don't understand how you propose to someone and you're not dating them. You haven't kissed them on the mouth. You haven't touched them in a tender or romantic way. No sex. You just decided to call Nanon, organize a flash mob at the mall, and get down on one knee and say, let's go to Japan. And I don't know how this happens. And I was mad because there's just no way we're back to square one. There's no way we're back to square one with Hang being unable to say, I don't want to marry you. Did we learn? So we didn't learn anything at all. You got on your knees crying, begging, I'll be better, 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 you said to this man. And then you go and do something like this. I liked, the way that it looked like the episode was going to resolve before we had a car accident and amnesia. Episode 11. GMMTV, I want you to listen to me very closely, because this TV Asahi, open up our listening ears, because this can never happen again. I'm going to be very clear when I say this. Episode 11 is too late for an amnesia plotline. Episode 11 is too late for an amnesia plotline. There is no time. We don't have the time. We weren't going to have the time episode 2. We weren't going to have the time episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Definitely not the end of episode 11. Episode 12, what is the point of watching that? I hear streets tell me that they go forward with the wedding anyways. Knowing that he has the memory loss and the brain damage, we're going forward with the wedding anyways. Mo, this is your time to say, you're not getting married to him. You're my man. You're my man. I know we lost a year and a half of development of the relationship, of the characters. Like, I just don't know who thinks it's a good idea to put an audience through 11 episodes of it's a comedy, right? But we're still getting a lot of depth into the characters. We're getting invested in their relationship and their plot line and their personal growth as people and their growth in relationships with other people in the world. And then we're throwing all of that in a toilet. We're dookying on top of it. It's thick. There are flies. We're flushing. It's not going down. We're plunging. It's not going down. We're calling the plumbers. The septic tank is overflowing. It's leaching into the lawn. Like, I just don't understand why you think it was. That's another thing. I bet a man came up with that idea. Number one. Number two, it should be illegal. Because I'm very afraid that this is going to happen to me again. There is no time for an amnesia plotline. And now I have to go through this wedding being planned. I don't care about them getting married. They should have never. I didn't want them to get married the first 3 times the man proposed to him. What makes you think I want to sit through some wedding planning again? I'm tired of it. He was supposed to already be getting with the other office worker with the glasses. He was supposed to be dating 10. Why is he still stuck here? By episode 8, I needed him on a date with 10. Episode 8. Episode 8. But you want to play games. You want to play games with me and my, like, I just, no. Now that I'm talking about it, I don't think I'll ever be watching that. I don't care how cute the ending scene is, how much I wanted to see the one scene that maybe, like, wanted to start watching the show in the first place. It was some funny scene where Mo was chasing Hang down the sidewalk. I don't remember saying stop. I wanted to watch it, but I'm not going to, because there's no way on God's fresh green earth that I'm starting from square one with Hang. Do you know how hard it was to get to the Hang that we see today? How hard it was to build up to this sort of mature, sort of wise, brave, bold, loving person from what we started as? Do you know? You don't. You don't, because you haven't watched it. I encourage you to watch the show. I'm not going to be watching episode 12. You know, and this happens to me a lot. A lot of the times, I like True Blood. I'm not watching the last season of True Blood. That you'll never catch me pressing play on that. Because I don't know why they hate black women so much, but killing Tara was really unnecessary, and she should have been living out her full bisexual life, vampire life. I don't know, she should have been finding peace somehow with being a vampire with her lesbian vampire girlfriend Pam. That should have been all that is. I love Torchwood. You know, I'm never going to be able to. I keep inching closer in my rewatches. I get closer and closer and closer to Yonto's final scene. I'm never going to be able to watch that. It's just not going to happen for me. And these are some of my favorite pieces of television, to be certain. But one thing I'm not okay with you playing with is me as a viewer. Please respect me. Don't play games with me, because I won't give you the view. But yes, that in conclusion, that's why I'm not going to be watching the 12th episode of Ossans Love Thailand. Even though I love the show and I recommend that everybody watch it, I'm not finishing the show. I'm so sorry. Um, I think that's all that I have to say. It was just so crazy that they thought they could do that to me, and I wasn't gonna say something to someone. You know about equals P? I want I'm the video's over, but I want us all to close our eyes and imagine equals P. Like imagine an equal sign. Everybody close your eyes. Imagine an equal sign. Imagine a letter P. Imagine them like right next to each other. Open your eyes. All right. Game's gone.